All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Vays. All right. Well, taxes are finally done. Well, maybe. Still waiting on it being approved. So we're back to the videos. That's why I didn't do a video yesterday. I was just like, oh, God, I really hate this time of year. It's a nightmare. All right, let's go to the charts. Okay, after this video, I'm gonna start my path towards figuring out and refreshing myself on information on politics. So I will do my best to try and keep politics to a minimum, and we're only gonna stick to the markets and then get back to politics next week. Yeah, I'm demonetized on YouTube, I believe, and yeah, they shadow ban me. It's a total disaster. Like this is why my one of the reasons why my views are down and why I don't make any money, which also needs to change. Okay, let's go to the charts. Oh, I'm already on screen chart. So we're halfway through the month, and look at this candle. This monthly chart is very critical going into the end of the month. Oh, Will, I was here for the rant. You'll get it soon. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's not good. Rants aren't going anywhere. So we are sandwiched between two moving averages on my monthly chart. For a refresher on what those moving averages are, and that's definitely not it. They are the 3, the 7, and the 7, the 20, and the 50. I'm like, 3. Why would I use a 3-month average? 3 is the forward-looking projection. 7, 20, and 50. So right here, it's going to be next month. There's going to be something's going to have to give next month. Either we break down and head towards the $22,000 area to meet the next moving average, or we break out and potentially avoid the moving average depth cross on the monthly scale. Okay, so this is a serious dynamic. Serious dynamic. Okay, and it's going to have to give one way or another. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about the annual chart. If I put on the 12-month chart, as you can see, we are currently sitting on an MRI top. As the price of Bitcoin began in January 2010. Bitcoin existed in 2009, but it didn't have any price. But if it did have a price, it would obviously be lower than the close of this month, which was around 25 cents, the close of this year, which was around 25 cents. So technically speaking, the MRI top should have been last year because it does take a full 4 candles before the MRI actually starts ticking away. So what does this mean on the annual MRI top? Well, generally, it just means a 1 to 4 candle correction, or just a slowdown in the appreciation of price. So it's not surprising that this year has not been very, very bullish. I still think this year is going to end bullish. What's really critical to me is what happens in the next 2 years. I think it's possible that Bitcoin is just going to run its entire course for the first like 20 years. And then, when it's sitting up here in like, the multi-million-dollar range, like we're still going to have around, 14, 15 years before any of the extensions start showing up, giving us more reason to look for a correction. by that time, that looks like, what price is that? That, like, where my cursor is right now, is like $16 million. Also, guys, as you guys know, I don't expect America to be a single country by the year 2030, maybe 2031. I expect America to split. I expect to split into multiple countries. That is my expectation. I'm not saying I want this, though I wouldn't mind. I know which side of the country I would be living in. I know which states I would be in. Like if Florida became its own country, if Texas became its own country, that's exactly what I would be. One of the reasons why, moving to Texas or Florida right now is potentially not going to change anything for your life is because all the Californians and New Yorkers are moving into those states. And if DeSantis runs for president and is no longer the governor, who knows which way Florida is going to go. Speaking of me not talking politics, but at least it's not Ukrainian politics. So DeSantis won that election by like 1,000 votes to be the governor of Florida. His Democrat opponent would have been a full-blown mask lockdown guy. So, I mean, Florida was 1,000 crazy voters away from being California over the last 2 years. So it's almost dumb luck that Florida ended up being what it was. So Florida could have been California the last 2 years, right? And if California voted differently, and Pelosi would be out, and Feinstein would be out, and Newsom would be out, and who knows? Newsom is the governor. Actually, I don't even know who the hell the mayor of Los Angeles is. Not that it matters all that much. Like California could have been the bastion of freedom if voting would have gone the other way in the last set of elections. So you just don't know until, but if there are multiple countries, 100,000 more registered Republicans in Florida now. Yeah, I don't think that matters. I really don't think that matters. It's whoever controls the voting booths. So as long as DeSantis is the governor, it's great that there's more Republicans than Democrats. But if DeSantis is out, and anyway, I divulged into politics before I even got into the monthly chart of Bitcoin, the weekly chart of Bitcoin, which is hilarious. DeSantis is going to win re-election, but if DeSantis is not running for election, I don't trust the election. That's my point. There were thousands more Democrats registered in Florida when DeSantis won. So just because there's more Republicans registered in Florida doesn't mean that Republicans going to win. The good news is Florida is like doing some right things in their educational system. And we used to make fun of Florida's educational system. All right, I need to stop. No, we're done. No more politics. Monthly chart. There we go. Look, this month, I don't think this month is going to change much. I also want to talk about what I think will happen and what I actually want to happen. And those are two very, very different things. Yeah, no, I'd love to talk about how, man, again, that's a topic, right? I see Daniel, I see you kind of turn off like live chat or something. More aggressive China and Russia will galvanize USA. No split after totalitarianism spreads. No, I think China and Russia would have a tougher time if the US properly splits. I have a different view on this. I have a completely different view on this. Completely. The TLDR on it is you had a president like Trump that wanted to be friends with Russia, but everyone, lost their shit when Trump wanted to be friendly and deal with Russia, everyone lost their shit. And Trump was going to be a little more aggressive towards China. And again, the Democrats lost their shit. But right now we're in a situation where the Democrats may or may, like the Biden administration may or may not be, blackmailed by China. So they do what China says and they hate Russia. So if the US splits in a perfect way, then half of America can, do whatever China tells them to do. And the other half will make friends of Russia and be more aggressive towards China. Though making friends of Russia at this point in time is almost impossible. Trump won't be back. I would love to be wrong, but Trump's not going to be back. All right, back to the charts. This is already a disastrous stream. Bitcoin is going to 20. I don't know that. This is the thing, right? I mean, it's great for you guys to live chat, whatever you like. Bitcoin's going to 3,000. Bitcoin's going to 100 million. Because when you write it in my live chat, no one will ever hold you accountable to anything. But everything that I say, anything that Willie Wu writes in his newsletter, we're actually held accountable for our views on it. So is Bitcoin going to 22? I have no freaking idea. But it's really like the structure of this is really, really bad. And if next candle opens below the moving average, it'll be almost impossible to redraw this triangle. It will be over. Yeah, Bobby, we know that Russia can't come close to competing on GDP, but Russia has a strong military, and Russia is a neighboring border of China, which is why making friends with Russia was absolutely critical over the last decade. But instead, we're in a current situation where Ukraine's getting destroyed. I do want to talk about Elon and Twitter. That's great stuff. Like Russia alone is not going to stop China, and Russia alone is not going to stop the US. It's not even going to come close. But making friends with Russia and getting India on the same side was going to be a serious, was going to put a serious blow in China's plans. But by making an enemy out of Russia and throwing India right into the arms of Russia, India could make peace with China over the water rights, and US is down inside, deep inside the toilet bowl. JPS, I don't know what country you live in, but if Russia decides to nuke your country, you would have a different opinion. Oh, wait, you wouldn't have a different opinion. You'd be dead. So throwing a laughing smiley face at a country that would nuke everyone if they are threatened too much is just stupid and a death wish. Finland. Oh, God, you're literally first on the nuke list right now. Good job. Good job. Yeah. You know what? Make fun of Russia some more. Finland. Wow. Wow. That's impressive. Like if Russia has a list of which countries might actually get nuked first, I think Finland is second behind Ukraine. Maybe even first in front of Ukraine. Yeah, good luck with that. Keep making fun of them, though. I'm sure it will end very well for you. All right, let's get back to the charts. Yeah, Ukraine was laughing at Russia also, and look what happened to them. I mean, I'm sure Ukrainians are laughing at the weakness of the Russian military. Every single Ukrainian, the 5 million of them that had to flee the country, are laughing with smiley faces at the Russian military and how weak they are. All the dead people in Ukraine are laughing at the Russian military. I mean, it's just the stupidity of people. Finland is no Ukraine. Yes, you will pour, like, your fight against Russia would last half a day. Ukraine actually had a military, unlike your country. The stupidity of people baffles me. It really does. Israel will never be sanctioned for any crimes, for anything. Israel can do whatever they want. There's no consequences. Israel doesn't care. It doesn't matter. There is nothing Israel can do to upset the global community. Absolutely nothing. That's a silly question. It's like when you guys were kids, right? Did you ever like walk up to the bully? Like every school had a bully, right? Did you ever walk up to the bully, point in his face, and laugh how stupid he is? How do you think that ends, right? Like, how did that end for you? Like, if you have kids, right? So JPS, you're making fun. You're in Finland and you're making fun of Russia. If you have kids, if you have, say, let's say a 12-year-old kid, right? Like before he goes to school tomorrow, tell him, hey, you know the biggest asshole bully? Here's what you need to do tomorrow. You need to get in his way, look him right in the eye, like poke his nose, and tell him how stupid he is. Like, say that to your son, your 12-year-old son, to do that to the biggest bully in school. And see what happens. And just see what happens. And then you can go on social media and, and complain about the end result and get infinite amount of sympathy for your son who could end up in the hospital for months. But it's great, right? You'll get lots of sympathy. I actually tried Googling how strong Finland's military is, and I couldn't find any data. Your country has 5,000 people. Most of them fish for a living. Weekly chart. Weekly chart looks bad. Weekly chart looks bad. Hey, mechanic. There's nothing really to say here. I mean, the new candle is going to start next week, and it's going to be below the moving average. Until we break this green line, until we break 47,000, I just don't see much. I just don't see much bullishness coming in, unless one thing happens that I'm about to talk about. The allocation chart continues to flip-flop us, which is why we're going to stay in cash for a while. We're going to be staying in cash. That cash position is now looks super smart after looking super stupid for about a day or two, but it now looks super smart. And we got 2 days to go in this candle. The moving averages are all over the place. This one is trending up. This one is trending down. There's really not much to discuss. It's a cash position. The financial summit is a go in the Dominican Republic. Here are some of the screenshots from the financial summit in Dubai, and the next one is in the Dominican Republic. For more info, check out the website. Daily chart. Daily chart is not interesting at all. We are smack in the middle of the horizontal range that we broke out of. And I expected us to stay above it, but the 200-day moving average had other problems. I don't know how not to talk about politics here. JP, Finland is not going to join NATO because there will be no Finland. Like, there will be no Finland. Russia will not let Finland join NATO. There will be no Finland. It would get nuked. It would get nuked. Helsinki will be nuked before Finland is allowed to join NATO. That's my opinion. Russia will not let Finland join NATO. It's like America letting Canada join China. I know you're laughing, but you're not going to be laughing if your country is nuked, because you will not be alive. And I like the fact that you are laughing at your potential death, but that's not how my brain works. And if you think America is going to come to the defense of Finland on the Russian border, you're insane. I'm going to close live chat. I don't see it anymore. So you guys can type whatever you like, but I'm not looking at it. I closed the live chat. Well, you guys can still type, but I don't have the ability to see it anymore because I'm getting distracted. The daily chart is just not interesting. Well, I'm sorry, guys. Charts are just not interesting. I don't know what you want me to say. The answer is do nothing. Like, the answer is do nothing. Like, we're stuck at $40,000. We've been stuck here for 3 days. It can go either way. It can go up, down. It can stay at $40,000. The charts are just not interesting. They're not interesting at all. The 4-hour chart is also not interesting. I have absolutely nothing to comment on it. I have absolutely nothing to comment on the 1-hour chart. These videos are different. There isn't always, a crazy must-see opportunity in the market. Sometimes the market just gives you nothing, and this is one of those times. This is interesting. As the price of Bitcoin has dropped, the GBTC premium has subsided. This is a potential sign that there aren't that many GBTC shares to go around. It is a sign that once the price of Bitcoin starts rising, the GBTC premium would probably evaporate fairly quickly. So people aren't selling GBTC shares as much as they're selling actual Bitcoin right now. This has been a development I've been paying attention to because I have been waiting for the GBTC premium to break above 0. And I think as the price starts to rise, this premium would start to disappear very, very quickly. I don't really care about the DXY chart all that much, especially the oscillators on it. I don't see how they're useful. We can talk about why. Oil, I'm bullish on. It's the weekend. It's not going to be trading till Monday or Sunday night. Gold, I'm still bullish on. I closed the live chat, but the live chat then went back into the other window that I had, unfortunately. So now I got to close another live chat. Hi, chat. Okay, now it's completely gone. I thought I got rid of it, but it was still in front of me. Now it's completely not in front of me. So here's Friday's daily stock market. It went down. Here's Bitcoin on Friday. It kind of just hung around. So we have to wait and see which way this goes. If on Monday the stock market goes down, that's a bad sign because that would be the market ignoring a Bitcoin MRI buy. And if we go down and close lower than these lows on Monday, it probably means the stock market is going to have a way more significant correction, which means that Bitcoin is likely to have a way more significant correction. Weekly chart depends on the daily chart. I'm going to not have much of an opinion. I want to have an opinion on Twitter. Twitter is hilarious. So I needed to mark Cathie Wood, right? So right here, Cathie Wood buys a lot of Twitter. Right there. So this is ARK Invest. Goes balls deep. I shouldn't write that. Goes be deep on Twitter. Brilliant trading strategy. I absolutely loved it. And I didn't even know about it at the time, but I was laughing about it a lot. Right here, Cathie Wood, ARK Invest gets out of Twitter. So right here, somewhere around here, or like, I don't know, somewhere around here. I gotta check. I'm gonna Google it, but on a different monitor. ARK or Cathie Wood exits Twitter. When was this? December 17. Right here. Exits? No, I thought it was later than that. Twitter stock. Cathie Wood dumps $142 million of Twitter stock. February 7th. Yeah. I thought it was right before earnings. Right. So February 7th. When is that? January, right before earnings. Remember what I said, guys? That was like a dumb move. So right here is when ARK sells Twitter. Talk about buying high and selling low. Though this isn't even buying high, this is buying stupid, because this is the day that Jack Dorsey left the company, right there. But they were in Twitter from earlier, right? Cathie Wood buys Twitter. When was this? They buy 1.1 million Twitter shares, so $48 million worth, right? So, but they sold over like 140, right? So ARK sells 170 million. Shoot, I gotta look at that search again. $170 million of Twitter. This is important, by the way. I'm not like randomly talking about this. $170 million of stock. They bought right here ARK Invest for $49 million. $49 million. But they sold over 100. Let me check how much they sold. 142. My bad. 142. But I should do this in shares, right? Because the price is way lower, right? So they must have had a lot. Like, how many shares is that? I mean, I can do the math, right? 3.66 million shares. Let's do this in shares, because shares is better. 3.66 million shares. And they bought over here 1.1 million shares. See, we're talking about in shares, not dollars, because the price was like 20% lower. So she doubles down on Twitter here with Jack Dorsey's departure. On Dorsey's departure. All right, so Jack Dorsey, as much shit as I've given him, was the only guy there that cared about free speech at Twitter. Oh, misspelled Dorsey. Got the other. Whatever. I'm not looking at your live chat, guys. I had enough of it. I had enough of the idiots from Finland. If I lived in Finland, I would get as far away from that country as humanly possible. I would take my family and like go anywhere but Finland. And not Sweden either. That's not gonna fare much better. Or Poland or Latvia or Estonia. I would go south. I would go to like Spain or Africa or Latin America, which is where I'm headed. Okay, so this means that they had over 2 million shares of Twitter from before. Now, how far before did they buy those shares? See, I don't know if they bought shares back here at the low. I doubt it. Or did they buy them up here at the high? More likely, because ARK Invest has not done very well, right? But over here, it looks like they dumped absolutely everything. right? Because if they went like serious buying, and look how bad that 1.1 million shares performed. They bought it. I'll pick the middle of the day, and they're down 30%. So they lost 30%. I don't know when they bought the other shares. I don't care enough to Google when they bought it. And this represented a 90% of their position. So they still have, a few 100,000 shares. Now, Elon Musk starts buying Twitter right here after Cathie Wood sold. She might have sold it to Elon Musk, right? So this is when the announcement became public. So right here, on this day, Elon announces he owns 10% of Twitter. I don't know how 10% of Twitter. I don't know how many shares that is, but I'm curious now. I'm Googling it. How many shares does Elon Musk own? But I should be more specific. Elon Musk wants to buy, in Twitter stock, shares of Twitter. It's just 10% of the market cap. 71 million shares. Man, that's a lot of shares. Shit. Way more than Cathie Wood had. 71 million. Jeez. Representing 9.1%. 73 million. Let me not short Elon Musk here. Okay. But that's when the announcement became public. He started buying at the low. And what did he say in that tweet? That he offered 50% above market value when he bought it. So he offered them, what, $54? So 54 divided by 2, that's 25 plus 2, 27 plus 10 cents. So 27.10. When was Twitter 27.10? It really wasn't, right? So maybe he wasn't offering 50%, maybe it was like 40%. But either way, it sounds like Elon Musk started buying right at the low. Right at the low. Maybe I should look at your live chat. Maybe there's something useful there as far as the stock goes. Yeah, thanks. It's hard. Before March 14th. Yeah, that makes sense. This right here is probably when Elon started buying. See this big candle in the middle of fucking nowhere? Happens to be an MRI buy candle. I would love to take credit for the MRI buy creating the perfect buying opportunity. But in reality, this is the kind of candle that was probably Elon Musk started to buy. There's not much volume that day. So there must have been some serious stealth buying going on. So what day is that? February 24th. This is probably when Elon started buying. And he's probably started accumulating it right there. So if someone can fact check me on that, but I'm going to take a wild guess that Elon Musk, maybe Elon has the MRI indicator. I don't know. But I'm going to take a wild guess that Elon started buying right here. Now, remember when I could not really explain why the hell would the price of Twitter go up? Because I'm very bearish on Twitter. Because Twitter is against free speech. Even though I'm on Twitter, Twitter is an anti-free speech platform. And it's incredible to watch people going nuts over the fact that it could actually become a free speech platform once again. So now, the only reason why this stock is up is because of Elon Musk, okay? And if Elon doesn't get to actually buy the entire company, I think he's going to sell the stock and he's going to profit on it, because this jump in price was not because of Elon buying. This isn't Cathie Wood. This isn't Cathie Wood buying right here at the top at the open and watching her position bleed away. This is Elon accumulating the position and then announcing that he has it. And then all the idiots that watch CNBC are jumping on this, but it's not a stupid buying opportunity, because right here is the price at which Elon is going to buy the stock. This is exactly what's supposed to happen. This is how buyouts work. When Elon announces on this weekend that he offered $54 a share, the stock goes to $54 because that's where people expect to, the stock to stop trading. So right now, what's happening is the communists want to keep control of Twitter, and they're going to reject Elon's offer, and Elon is going to sell the stock. And when he does, this thing is going into the shitter. Now, I am strongly considering shorting this thing, but I haven't been paying attention to it. Let's see where it opens on Monday. Let's see where it opens on Monday, because this earnings is going to be horrible. Like, imagine if they do reject Elon's offer, I would not be surprised if he deleted his Twitter account, which would also be hilarious, because just like Trump, one of the main reasons why Twitter is actually doing so well over the years is because of Trump. See, right here, Twitter was about to die. Right here, Twitter was actually about to die. The stock, which started trading in 2013 as a public company, was basically a shitcoin. And it was down 80%. And what happened in the summer of 2016? Trump starts seriously running for president, and he's using Twitter as the platform. So you can attribute this entire upswing in Twitter into the election of 2020 until Trump got banned from Twitter. Basically Trump, okay? Right here. Trump didn't get banned from Twitter till like after he lost the election. We can Google when Trump got banned from Twitter. And then I can explain what happened here in February. My guess is Trump got banned from Twitter right here in early February. I'm going to Google this. When did Trump get banned from Twitter? January 8th. Yeah, that makes sense. Right after the January 6th protests. So right here on this candle, I'm curious. I'm going to go to the daily chart, and I'm going to go to January 8th. Right here. This is where Trump gets banned from Twitter, and the initial reaction is a crash in the price of Twitter. That's the gap. Right here, Jan 11th. Jan 8th is Friday, and then he got banned over the weekend. So you see the down gap in Twitter, ironically, once again, reversing on an MRI buy. Okay, so now the question becomes, how do we explain this huge run up in the price of Twitter right after Trump gets banned? Of course, it reversed at an MRI buy. Why else would it reverse? And into February, into the early days of Biden, the price of Twitter almost doubled in price. reaching its all-time high. And of course, tops on an MRI top. Obviously topped on an MRI, okay? Monthly scale. Hitting its all-time high, breaking the IPO high, not adjusted for inflation, which is now running at 10%. How do you explain that? How do you explain this? I mean, this was mostly Trump reviving Twitter. I always thought Trump was going to buy Twitter, but maybe he's still angry over him being banned from it. Well, I explain it in the same way that Ukraine loved the idea of joining Klaus Schwab's Marxist utopia. You get this honeymoon phase, and then you get reality. So this is all of the, socialist mindset people like Cathie Wood, who think that by removing freedom of speech from a speech platform, it is a good investment opportunity, okay? And the reason why I mentioned Ukraine is that as much as a country like Ukraine wanted to join and like Zelensky is a true believer in the World Economic Forum and the Marxist vision of Klaus Schwab, you get this honeymoon phase of how awesome this socialist utopia is going to be and how all the Ukrainians will now be allowed complete access throughout all of the European Union, the poorest country with the biggest population of 30 million people would now have full travel access through and universities and job opportunities all throughout Europe if only they join this European movement. And then you have a reality smacking them in the face of Russia coming in with military, okay? This is the reality in like believing something that will lead you to insane ruin. So this is Twitter, and this is the idiots buying into Twitter the moment it became a full, mouthpiece of socialist propaganda and banning of free speech. But these are all the people that don't understand how free markets work. And they bought into the bullshit of how great it is for a free speech platform to remove free speech. And that honeymoon phase doesn't last very long before reality smacks it in the face. And the reality is that people are leaving Twitter and everyone freaking hates it. And we only use it out of necessity. And the sooner Twitter goes away, the happier many of us will be. So here we are. And I'm sure Cathie Wood, if she bought her and Ark Invest, if they bought a shit ton of Twitter on Jack Dorsey's departure, they probably bought their 2 million shares right here on Trump's banning. And then they doubled down when they came back to break even. This is how most traders lose money. This is Tone Vays rule number 2. Rule number 2 and 3. Both broken at the same time. Rule number 1 and rule number 3 broken at the same time. Rule number 1 of Tone Vays' trading: do not double down losing positions. Assuming they went deep into Twitter on Trump's banning, they doubled down when their position just started to lose money. That's rule number 1, cardinal rule number 1. And rule number 3 is do not let your profitable positions become losing positions, which is a rule they also certainly broke. Because unless they bought into Twitter right here at the top, which is possible, then they only broke rule number 1. But if they bought into Twitter before Dorsey quit, like back here, if they bought into Twitter pre-Trump banning, then they were in a profitable position and they let that position go red. And as it was going red, they broke rule number 1 by doubling down. Okay. In case you're wondering what rule number 2 is, rule number 2 is always set a stop loss, which they never did. So they broke all 3 of Tom Vays' cardinal rules. I would love to know when ARK invested in Twitter. When did ARK start buying Twitter? I don't know if this is public knowledge, though. ARK Invest Management, which already one of the largest, bought about 1.1 million shares of Twitter on Tuesday, July 23rd. What year is this? Kathy Wood, ARK buys 1 million shares of Twitter after Dorsey's departure. I know that part. Shoot. So I don't know when they originally accumulated the position. I just don't know. December 30th, 2022. No, what? That can't be right. How is the date on this article December 30th, 2022? How's that possible? I'm not crazy, guys. This article is literally from the future. Here. Look. I'm not crazy, right? Like right here. What date do you see? Like, it made me question what year are we in? I'm actually checking on my computer, making sure it's still April 2022. Yeah, so I don't really know. So I don't know when this article was written. Probably December 2021. All right. So like I said, I don't know when they started buying. It doesn't really matter, right? The point is, the reason why Twitter went up is because Elon A bought the stock and he started buying up liquidity. And it's not easy to keep it secret, right? Like, people know, insiders know, people at Twitter know Elon's buying the stock. Some people know. People that are close to Elon know Elon's buying the stock, right? So like he's buying the stock. So as more as the word spreads outside of the social media channels, as the word spreads privately, hey, Elon's buying Twitter. Elon's buying Twitter, right? As that word spreads, the price of Twitter goes up, and no one knows why it's going up. Now, I am, of course, going to take credit for it going up on an MRI buy. Now, there's nothing wrong with technical analysis. See, technical analysis tells you you buy the MRI buy, and then you add to that position on the breakout of a prior swing high, which happens to be the breakout of both moving averages, which then happens to break the MRI resistance line, which then leads to a moving average crossover. So there's nothing wrong with using technical analysis to buy into Twitter along the way. And then right here, you find out that Elon wants to buy out the company for the price right here. See, this is the price where Twitter should be at. Right now, like almost every single company that has ever been offered a buyout at 20 to 30% above market value when the news breaks, and like 40% above market value when the idea was first floated. The price of Twitter should be right at this line and not moving. It should be right here. The price of Twitter should be between $54 and $54.30. That should be the price of Twitter. That's it, okay? Because that's the price that everyone will get when Elon signs a piece of paper. But instead, this thing could potentially go down to $10. Because what do you think will happen if Elon now announces he's pulling the offer, and not only is he pulling the offer, he's going to be selling the shares. Now, what Elon is going to do on Monday is he's going to keep his mouth shut and start selling the shares, with people still thinking he's going to buy it. So next week, he's not going to wait till earnings, guys. He's not waiting till earnings. He is going to get rid of the stock. Like, unless they agree to sell it to him by the time this earnings date comes, he's going to start selling the shit out of that stock. And the news that he may still buy it will allow him to exit this position at a profit, assuming he is legally allowed to exit the position. There may be some rules where he has to hold it for X amount of time. I don't know. When I worked on Wall Street, I was not allowed to exit my trades in less than 30 days. If I entered a trade, I have to be in it for 30 days. There's only one exception to me exiting a trade prior to a 30-day hold window, and that was if I'm losing 20% on the trade. If I'm losing 20% or more, I'm allowed to cut my losses. Otherwise, I'm not allowed to sell it. I'm assuming he's allowed to just sell the fucker. And depends on how, and it's going to be a combination of how much money he's willing to lose on the sale or how little profit he's willing to make versus hurting Twitter. Because if he market sells 9% of Twitter, this thing is going to go way low. And he's probably going to do it right at earnings for a double whammy, because I don't expect this earnings to be very good. I don't, okay? Considering what happened last earnings, look at last earnings, okay? So last earnings, Twitter reported right in line. I know it's red, but these are meaningless differences. These are very, very small differences, okay? Look, 0.65%, 1.22% miss, that's nothing, okay? Absolutely nothing. But now the price is significantly higher. So because the price is significantly higher, these earnings need to be infinitely better than the last couple of earnings, okay? And Twitter is going to be in serious trouble. So if they don't sell it to Elon, I can see the stock breaking these lows, because there's not going to be another Elon. I mean, Cafe Wood might buy it right here and then sell it back there, but you're not going to have, who the hell is going to buy Twitter if Elon pulls out? I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe the Saudi family will buy it. I mean, by the way, here is the incredible part, right? So everyone is going apeshit over Twitter, over Elon buying Twitter, but no one has a problem. Let's say the Saudi prince and the country of Saudi Arabia decided to do what Elon's doing, they would have no issue with this. This is what the baffling part is. This is absolutely baffling. Like, no one had a problem. When everyone realized last week that the Saudi family was one of the biggest shareholders of Twitter, no one has a problem with this. But Elon, Elon doing it is a problem. Like how do these liberals make sense of this? How? Look, I don't have a problem with the Saudi family owning stuff. I go to Dubai all the time. I haven't been to Saudi Arabia yet, right? Like, I don't have a problem with it. But how in the world are you going to convince me that Elon destroys free speech and and the Middle East is the opposite of that? Well, it's completely mind-boggling. If I was Trump, I would be calling Elon and partnering with him on Truth Social. Maybe give it to Elon's developers so they can actually launch the damn thing. I still don't have an account. I tried. I don't have one. I'm number 280,000 on the wait list. Right. Mark B, that's exactly right. I'm back to looking at live chat. I'm going to leave Twitter if Elon Musk takes over it. Is the same people say I'm moving to Canada if Trump wins. None of these people moved to Canada. Though maybe they did, and that's what happened to Canada, right? A lot of people are moving to Mexico, though, now that Brandon's president. Yeah, if I was Trump, I would sell like 25% of Truth Social to Elon if he promises to run the tech. Do you guys have any idea how many people are not allowed to speak their mind on YouTube and Twitter because of the censorship? So my view on Twitter is it's going down. I don't think Elon would be allowed to buy it. I don't think the government would let him buy it. The movement of anti Elon for Twitter has now taken on the life of its own. So I don't see Elon buying it. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And I think Twitter is going down, especially if Elon sells the stock. So I have a bearish outlook for Twitter. Goldman Sachs is the funniest one. They have a sell recommendation with a $30 target, and yet they're saying Elon's offer was too low for a company that doesn't make money, which is hilarious. Now, Elon can't team up with Durov because isn't Durov Russian? I don't think he's Ukrainian. I really think he's Russian. Guys, if you think it's easy to tell a difference between a Russian and Ukrainian, you're crazy. Because I'm half Russian, I'm half Ukrainian, and I can't tell. So, I mean, I can tell. It's easier to tell in girls than in guys. It's easier to tell Ukrainian and Russian girls apart than it is to tell guys apart. For me, anyway. I don't know. Maybe if I was gay, it would be the opposite way. I don't know. Well, yeah, Twitter wasn't a downfall since Trump. You got that honeymoon phase, right? Where everyone loves the communist utopia, and then reality hits, and then reality sets in. And if it wasn't for Elon, we would be lower right now. Remember what I said also on earnings, like last time earnings? I said, hey, because Twitter was down so much, I expect it to go up after earnings because it's only so much down a stock can go, especially when everyone knows what it is. So I did expect it to go up. I didn't expect it to go up this much. But now we know why that happened, and that's Elon. All right. I think that's it for me. Completely uninteresting Bitcoin chart. Join us at the Financial Summit. Such an awesome event this year in the Dominican Republic in August. And then we'll see where we go next. It's an event for traders, hedge funds, family offices, exchanges, high-end, high net worth, 5 nights, insanely expensive resort. These are the pictures of the resort. This is where we stay. Food, drinks, your room, all included in the price of admission to the event. You can upgrade your villas for an extra cost. This is one of the villas you can upgrade to. So is this one. That's another villa you can upgrade to. If you're curious on the upgrades for the real whales out there, these are the rooms that are included. You choose from this ocean view. It's a pretty big room. This ocean view or this back of the castle room with stairs to a giant pool. So these are the rooms you choose from, unless you care to upgrade. You can upgrade to like a nice 1-bedroom loft suite or a rooftop suite with a private pool. These are kind of sold out. I got to get these people to pay, or I'm going to put these things back on the market. And then you have some seriously nice villas. So these are your upgrade options. This is the nicest villa of them all. Not cheap though. That's an extra $1,000 a night. But someone's going to take this one. So you can imagine the kind of people that you get to hang out with when you come, and it's only limited to 70 people. I think we upped the capacity a bit. We're now at yeah, we got 26 spots left. Actually, it's a little bit more. It's based on the prior numbers. Normally, we get about 50 people, but I raised the capacity to 70 at this one. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. So these are the kinds of people you're hanging out with. It's going to be awesome. That's it, guys. There is my deep dive into Twitter. All right. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. And I will see you all on the next one.